Right, and we are picking up where we left off. We are at 140 passes, and why not go until the knife stops shaving? The Benchmade, an S90V, it started slowing, it stopped shaving clean at 60 passes. It was only taking about half the hairs at that point. At 80, it was taking very few hairs, but then by the time it hit 100, it could hardly take any hair at all. It was basically not taking any hairs, taking maybe 1 out of every 50 hairs or nothing, but we're just going to keep going, see how long this will go. We are now at 200 passes, okay? Okay, so it looks like it has slowed down to where it's taking about 5% of the hairs. So let's see about, all right. Or it's taking most of the hairs, not quite half, so we're gonna go a couple more passes, see if we can figure out where that's. I don't know where I'm gonna shave now, but we'll do a few more passes. Right. 220 passes. See if there's any spot in my body where I can show on camera, or I can actually test this. Okay. I got a little patch of hair right there. Still shaving, so where could I don't want to do it on my belly. So we're at 220 passes and we only have not much rope left, so do the rest of those. Okay, here we go. All right, 230 passes through 3/4 inch twisted sisal rope. Okay, I wonder if I can, close enough, okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's 230 passes. I'm gonna. Oh, still taking at least 95% of the hair. Two hundred and 230 passes. I am just I am really happy with this heat treatment. I've made one change to my heat treatment from the way I used to do it a couple months ago to now, But yeah, it looks like the change that I made was well worth it. Whew. So 230 passes, and I have no good spots left to try to take hair from. My forearms are pretty much out of hair except for in places where the skin's really fatty, or it's like my elbow. My legs have run out of hair, so I don't have any good spots to cut down there, so there's nowhere really left to try to shave on. But 230 passes. I haven't stropped it yet, and just, I am very, very proud of how this knife has performed. The edge looks excellent. I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm just really proud of myself, what I've taken things to, and just phenomenal. And I'm not trying to sound egotistical with that. I'm just excited. So, I don't mean to just kind of mumble on here. 230 passes, CPM 54 cm. Still able to shave most of the hair. So at 60 passes, so at 230 passes, this is still sharper than the Benchmade S90V was at 60. My hands are tired. It's hard to hold the knife steadily after how much pressing I've been doing with it. But yeah, 60 passes versus 230. Pretty happy. So I have a little bit of hair above my knee here. So this is what it's doing after 230 passes. I haven't touched up the blade in any way. So 230 passes, and still shaving almost all the hair in this area, which is where most of the cutting was done. How much further could it go before it even stopped? Right, so I just shaved my thigh with this, and it's still taking most of the hair. I was able to find the last bit of the 1-inch twisted sisal rope, so I might as well cut this up too and see how much the knife might slow down by the time we get to the end of it. So here we go again. Now this is more rope to go through, so each cut is going to be 1 inch instead of 3/4, so there's going to be a little bit of conversion there, but here we go. So that's 10 passes. I'm trying to figure out how this should be compared, because that's the size of the 3/4, and this is at least twice what the 3/4 is, so I think I'm going to call it, so that's the way I have it set up as I'm cutting through it. This is the easiest way to do it. So I think one cut on this is, I'm going to compare it to 2 of those, even though it's probably closer to 2 3/4. So let's go check and see if it's still shaving. So this is 10 passes on the 1-inch stuff, which is about 3 times bigger than the 3/4 inch. So 230 passes on the 3/4 inch, 10 passes on the 1-inch. And it is still taking most of the hair. I think that the 1-inch stuff might be a little rougher, but it's still taking at least half of the hair. It's tough to tell just because there's hardly anywhere good left to sharpen. But I might go ahead and just call it there. So the equivalency of 250 passes, because okay, so might just go ahead and call it there, because there's hardly any hair anywhere for me left to go after, and this is still taking at least half. So I suppose you could say that's the equivalent of the buck one nut, or not the buck, the Benchmade was at 60. Is the equivalency of this at 240 to 250. Right, so the final result. So in the Benchmade compared to this knife made by me, the Benchmade had slowed down considerably after 60 passes through the 3/4 inch twist thistle rope. Now this is, to keep in mind here, the metric of measurement I'm using is it able to remove any hair off the body? Now at 60 passes, the Benchmade was only taking about half. This knife at 250 passes could still take half the hair, at least, and it looked like it might have been taking more. Check the video for yourself if you want to see. The last little bit of cutting, I used a 1-inch twisted thistle rope, and then I converted it into the equivalency of what it would have been in the 3/4. So this is so here's the 3/4 inch compared to the 1-inch. So almost 3 times, but I'm just going to count it as 2. Here's some phone book paper just to show you what the blade still has. Okay, and that's on the portion that did most of the cutting, because the part of the blade that got used the most was this kind of top half of the blade here, and it's still able to cut the phone book paper without too much trouble. Let me see here, get on a better face here. There it is. Okay, so the edge has lost some of the sharpness. So the first thing we're going to do to see how bad off it is, and I did this with the Benchmade as well, I stropped it on a piece of leather that had no compound on it, and then I stropped it on a piece of leather there that did have compound on it, and the Benchmade came back after being stropped on a strop that had compound. It could not bring its shaving edge back until it had the compound on it. And within shaving sharp, there's multiple degrees of shaving sharp. So, yeah. So that didn't change much. So we are at the point of where there's a degree of slowdown. Okay. So go ahead and take some compound here. Just rub it in the strop. It's a regular piece of leather. We're gonna give it a minute on each side. Okay, so that's stropped. Okay, that did come back quite a bit at this point. Okay, let's see if we can find a non-wrinkle spot. Yeah, that is doing pretty good. Okay, let's see. Ooh, there's a lot more bite. And it is back to being able to shave in the really hard parts to shave on a body. I mean, it's harder to shave on the back of your arms just because it's hard to reach it, but it is back. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the other room real quick. So after this dropping, back to shaving 100%. All right, so final conclusion, I did pretty good.